Almost 1 year ago, I said this. And I'm going to be reviewing also Justice League, the Snyder's Cut that's coming to HBO Max. And it's finally here. Justice League, the Snyder's Cut. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Here we talk about everything in geek culture, especially TV series, but today's episode we are talking about the Snyder's Cut, Justice League. And man, if you've watched the first movie, Whedon's cut of it, that is a canon version, and then you've watched this one, you can tell that there are some major differences in both movies. So let's talk about the 5 top, in my opinion, different changes that makes the movie better, and give my honest review of this movie. So it isn't news that they had to reuse scenes from the movie. There's been many reports out there that said that Whedon's version of Justice League was only about 25% of what Snyder had in mind for the movie, and he just kind of rewrote the other 75%. So you can kind of see that there are a lot of stuff here that's new, some very different scenes, some very fundamentally different scenes that, in my opinion, make this movie better. So the review for so let me just talk about that real quick. I thought it was a much better movie. They did justice to some of these characters. I did not get the attention that they deserved in the first movie, and I thought that this was again a much better movie. Yeah, the first one, the Whedon's cut, it's probably like a 4 out of 10. Or a 5 out of 10 maybe on a good day. Depends on my mood. But this movie, it's like a 7 or 8. Really, it's a 7 or 8. I would love to see a continuation of this. There's plenty of material here. There's so many possible routes they can go in. I mean, this was, they gave us a lot of different plots that at the end ended up leaving an open door to multiple different storylines, but it didn't take away from the movie, in my opinion. So what are the top 5 differences, in my opinion, that makes this movie better than the original one? Well, to start off, it's Cyborg's backstory. Finally, what is perhaps the most important character in the entire movie, he finally got the recognition and the respect that he deserved on this one. It's like Whedon barely gave him a backstory, and this one you see a very expanded, a very complete backstory to Cyborg. Another thing that I kind of liked here is that whole movie wasn't just about Steppenwolf, coming into Earth to conquer. It was really about Darkseid. So here Steppenwolf was more of a henchman, trying to earn the trust and the respect of Darkseid for betraying him. So here we get to see that. There's no mistake about it. This is all for Darkseid. Even though it was orchestrated by Steppenwolf, it was all for Darkseid, and it was all for their greater cause there. So in here, it's much more obvious that they're preparing to face Darkseid in a future movie, and I hope that happens. Now, this next change is not perhaps a very big one, but it does reveal some important information here. Martian Manhunter, it's apparent in this movie that he's way more into this than previously thought. We see the Martian Manhunter disguising himself as Martha Kent to go talk to Lois Lane to get her to come out of her depression, get out of the house and do her work. It was obvious that he was wanting to do that for the better of not only herself, but better society. Is I guess the world's a better place with Lois Lane in it. But he's been around. He's been keeping tabs on people. He's been looking at people. He knows exactly what was going on with Martha Kent. He knows exactly what's going on with Lois Lane. And then at the end of the movie, he goes and he talks to Batman, and he talks to Bruce Wayne. Then he wants to be part of the Justice League because he knows Darkseid is coming, a fight is coming. They're gonna need all the help they can get. And the Martian Manhunter is a very powerful character. and he put himself to use. You know, he's ready. He's ready to join the team and join the fight. So I thought that was very cool. The little heart-to-heart conversation with Lois, and you know, it's very interesting what Snyder is implying here. That Martian Manhunter has been very active. And he knows what's going on. He knows what's happening. Flashpoint, yeah, Flashpoint. That's exactly what I mean by saying Flashpoint. We see here that Barry is messing and playing with his powers a little more. We're seeing throughout the movie the way he said to himself that he's gonna have to break the rule. He's gonna have to go faster than the speed of light, you know. And when he does that, the timeline, weird things happen. And the way the Flashpoint is all sort of connected and being introduced here, because Barry had to go back in time and alter the timeline, because in the timeline they lose. The Justice League lost. Earth was doomed and Darkseid won, because it just Steppenwolf got in the way, the Parademons got in the way, Barry wasn't able to run fast enough. Well, he was running fast enough, but with Cyborg getting distracted and not being able to give Barry that go, so he was just late. So he shows that he has gone back and forth. He has played with the time before, so he knows what he's done. But I mean, the Earth was lost, and you can see everybody got destroyed, and Barry was going to be the only one that survived because he used his power to phase through all the destruction as it was happening. So this is going to play a part. I know for sure it's going to play a part in the upcoming Flash movie. That's going to be an adaptation of Flashpoint. I'm in. I'm ready. I mean, I have some issues with this Barry Allen, but for what it is, and for the sake of seeing a live-action Flashpoint, again, I'm in. I'm ready to watch this, and I hope the movie's good. And another scene here that was very different, that was not in the first movie, is the Injustice nightmare world that Bruce Wayne is experiencing. And it sort of turns out that this could very possibly be an alternate timeline, because Jared Leto's Joker tells Bruce Wayne, you know, how many timelines are you going to destroy? So it just kind of seems like Bruce has been going back and forth between these alternate timelines, probably with the help of Barry, to try to save the world. But I think so far they failed in all. In this particular timeline, we see a very unlikely team comprised of Batman, Mira, Cyborg, Barry Allen, the Flash, and the Joker. There's a conversation between Batman and the Joker, which I thought it was very good. Certainly showed a dark side to Batman that we haven't seen, you know, especially when he says, you know, she begged me when I kill you, and believe it, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And what I do is slow. So this is very cool, and it was cool to see Leto's second attempt at playing the Joker. I thought it was also a better Joker, much more true to the character rather than the thug-like Joker that he played. The movies still have its issues, like Zack Snyder's love for slow-mo. Every other scene is a slow-mo, or a flashback is a slow-mo, or an important part is a slow-mo. That gets kind of old. And then some things I didn't really dig too much about the invasion, like Aquaman. Fighting scenes in some of this movie, I thought they were kind of lame. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the word, but it's an above average movie, and most definitely way better than the movie we saw before. I hope that this ends up becoming the canon version of the DCU, and I hope Zack Snyder gets another shot of making a second movie, and I hope he gets a shot of making more spin-offs, because based on what we've seen here, there could be room for improvement. And if these movies keep improving, they could be a real big threat to Marvel's monopoly on superhero movies, because make no mistake about it, Marvel movies are better than this still. The Avengers Infinity War was a better movie than this. Civil War was a better movie than this. But again, it wasn't a bad movie. I mean, Infinity War and Civil War are outliers. They're very, very, very good movies. Endgame wasn't as good as those two, in my opinion. Still a good movie. Endgame is probably still a little bit better than this. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of need to sit on it and think about it a little longer, or maybe rewatch this movie another 4 hours, and then watch Endgame. Down below there'll be 2 videos, my latest video and then also my DC playlist, to make sure you go check that out and see what's on there. Maybe you'll find something of your liking. There's plenty of content here on the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.